want to commend you for even apologizing for the plane incident. But what made you apologize? I was surprised that you apologized.
I'm a grown man.
I know that's right. So we got to ask you too. When can we have this sit down with you, 50, Tony Yayo, you know?
Who?
No, listen.
Never.
Oh my God, Ja.
So G-Unit and Ja Rule are added. Again, their latest clash happened while they both boarded a Delta plane. Now, although 50 wasn't there, Yayo had this to say, but regardless of what could have been, Ja Rule was humiliated, and now he's back with a response. Here's what we know, the plane. So it's February 8th, 2026, Super Bowl 60 weekend, just wrapped up in San Francisco. Everybody who's anybody in the industry was out there. Parties, events, brand activations, the whole nine, Tony Yao. And just like that, the tension was already in the air. Uncle Murda and their circle had been outside all weekend with 50 Cent, moving like bosses at every major event. They were linking with draft picks, filming TikToks, sliding into elite backstage sections, and snapping pics with certified legends. This wasn't just a trip, it was a full G-Unit rollout, the kind of access that only comes when you're locked in with 50's world. They were mobbing heavy the whole time, real victory lap energy. By Sunday morning, the city had cooled off, and it was time to head back to New York. Delta flight from SFO to JFK. First-class seats locked in for Yayo, Murda, and the crew. They boarded early, no rush, tossed their bags up top, slid into seats 4C and 4D, and got comfortable for that 5-hour ride home. Smooth, regular travel vibes, nothing strange at all. But right before they could fully relax, somebody at the airport pulled them to the side with some spicy info. Quiet voice, quick heads up, straight to the point. Ja Rule was booked on the exact same flight, same plane, same aisle, same energy about to collide. And in that second, the mood shifted crazy.
You got in a little, shall we say, altercation on a plane.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into all the specifics. Yeah. But from your perspective, what happened, and what would you say to folks who just want, like, our hip-hop legends to just get along?
You know, well, nothing really happened, you know, but...
What was just a calm trip home suddenly felt like a headline waiting to explode. So Yayo told Murda, Murda told the rest of the crew, and nobody even thought about switching flights or ducking anything. That's not how they operate. If anything, it made them sit up straighter. Now you've got the G-Unit side posted in first class, fully aware of who's about to walk through that cabin door. Calm faces, sharp eyes, no panic at all. The surprise was completely theirs. Ja had zero clue what he was stepping into. As passengers kept boarding, Yayo started counting empty seats like it was a chess move. 2 seats left, 1 up front, 1 directly in front of him and Murda. He leaned over and tapped Murda's arm. No words needed. They already knew what that meant. Then it happened.
Listen.
And I'm not trying to stir up the pot. I'm really talking to you as a hip-hop fan.
Here's the reality, right? Sometimes in life, people have enemies.
Okay.
And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's okay to have enemies. Everybody can't be friends. A friend of everybody is an enemy to himself.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, we don't also have to be at war. You feel me?
Right.
So there's room for us to be not friends and also not be at war. And that's where I'm at with it right now.
Ja Rule came walking down the first-class aisle solo. No crew, no security, no entourage. Just 2 bags in his hands and that boarding pass. The second he locked eyes with Yayo, everything shifted. His body language changed fast, like reality hit him all at once. Yayo later explained why that moment mattered. In their world, when you see one G-Unit member, your mind starts racing. Who else is nearby? Who's sitting where? Who's about to stand up? That's how they think. Ja took seat 3, right in front of them. Before the plane even started moving, before it pushed back from the gate, he kept turning around asking if they were good. According to Yayo, the tone wasn't aggressive. It wasn't bold. It sounded like someone trying to figure out if he was safe on that flight. The energy in that first-class section went from calm to chaos in seconds. 1 minute it was quiet cabin vibes, the next minute voices were bouncing off the walls. Words started flying fast. Ja was getting louder. Murda was heated. Passengers stopped scrolling and started staring. Flight attendants began moving in, sensing it was about to go left real quick. Then Yayo dropped a wild line that pushed everything over the edge. He shouted at Ja to suck his loud enough for first class and business to hear it clear as day. No whisper, no filter, just straight disrespect echoing through the cabin.
They already on the plane, and Ja's like, yo, what's up? Automatically, if you got tension in this beef and you see someone face to face, it's like, yo, what's up? What we doing? Is it drama? Is it beef where we gotta get violent? Is it gonna be an altercation? Or if not? So that he addressed it, yo, what's up? They really ain't want no smoke. They pull out their phone and start trolling. They knew he was coming. They trying to create a viral moment. Now they got their podcast popping and they thanking Ja. Oh, thank you, Ja. Every day you see Tony Yayo Jack thanking my.
That's when Ja reacted with the only thing he had within reach on a commercial flight. He snatched up one of those Delta complimentary pillows and launched it straight at Yayo's head. The pillow connected and knocked Yayo's hat clean off. It wasn't a heavyweight punch, but it definitely made a statement. Yayo tried to spring up and rush him, but the seatbelt caught him halfway and yanked him right back down into his seat. Perfect timing, or maybe terrible timing, depending on how you look at it. Murda was already out of his seat across the aisle, stepping in fast. For a split second, it looked like the whole cabin was about to turn into a headline. But the flight attendant shut it down immediately. Yayo described him as a steward who stepped in with serious authority, hit the emergency call button, and commanded everyone to calm down. Just like that, the shouting stopped and the moment froze in place. The crew stepped in heavy after that. They brought everyone to the front of the plane one by one and asked a simple question. Could they finish the flight without any more drama? Yayo said he was good. No extra talk, no scene. He walked back to his seat, sat down, and kept it cool like nothing else needed to be said.
Deal with that side. I don't with them. They don't with me. That's fine. But I also don't have to be at war. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. I'm on 50 years old. And so, you know, we're doing big things out here. We're getting big money.
We are proud of you.
Yeah, we can't be.
One more question. Did you have like a moment of embarrassment? Because trust me, I've had like arguments with the job where I'm like, oh God, I didn't mean it.
Nah, I don't regret nothing. Because listen, man, if it is what it is, two things can be true, right?
Ja, though, was moving different, at least according to Yayo. He was on his phone the whole time, texting nonstop. Word is he might have been reaching out to people to meet them when the plane touched down at JFK. Nobody can fully confirm that, but that's the story being told. Either way, the results spoke loud. Ja ended up removing himself from the flight. Delta later confirmed that 2 passengers were spoken to after a disagreement, and one of them was rebooked on a later flight. That passenger was Ja Rule. Simple and clean statement, but everybody already knew what it meant. Before things fully cooled off, Yayo made sure he got the last petty move in. That same pillow Ja had thrown? Yayo tossed it right back. Not a punch, not a shove, just a clear message. Energy returned to sender. But the plane situation was only the warm-up. Once the footage hit the internet, everything leveled up fast. What started as an argument at 30,000 feet turned into a full-blown cultural moment. Blogs grabbed it. Comment sections exploded. Everybody had an opinion. And the loudest voice in the whole saga wasn't even on that flight.
I just want to say this from my standpoint. You know, I'm almost 50 years old. I'll be a grandfather.
Congratulations.
Proud grandfather coming in May. But I feel like, you know, as a older statesman in the hip-hop community, there's a responsibility that we have, you know, to be gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I live by code. I call it the gentleman's code.
50 Cent wasted no time jumping in. While that was brewing, Uncle Murda posted the footage on Instagram. The first clip showed Ja walking down the aisle while Murda narrated live, calling him a sucker straight to his face as the camera kept rolling. Raw energy, no edits, no filters. Just straight chaos captured in real time. The tight cabin, the packed overhead bins. Ja's face caught right in that split second of realization hit different than any regular rap beef clip. This wasn't staged. No bright lights. No director yelling cut. No music video budget. This was raw phone footage, shot on an iPhone in first class, and that made it feel way more real. The first video showed that awkward moment when everything clicked for him. You could see it on his face. That, oh, this is really happening look. And because it felt unfiltered, it spread fast. People replayed it over and over, breaking down every expression like it was game film. Then the second clip dropped, and that one pushed the narrative even harder. It showed Ja's seat empty after he had been rebooked. Murda was grinning at the camera, captioning it, "It Ja got off the plane, lol, I took his seat." That one line told the whole G-Unit version of the story. We stayed. He left. End of discussion. By Sunday evening, the internet was on fire. Every major hip-hop blog and entertainment outlet grabbed it. Billboard, People, LA Times, Complex, Hip Hop DX. The clips were embedded everywhere. Millions of views stacked up in less than 24 hours. This wasn't just gossip anymore, it was trending culture. Then 50 Cent stepped in and turned the volume all the way up. On February 9th, one day after the flight, he reposted the footage to his massive Instagram following. Over 30 million eyes locked in. His caption was classic 50. He wrote that Ja was by himself, so he had to make a scene so they could remove his scary ass.
You know what I mean? That was a big force narrative. As you see Tony Yayo, Uncle Murda, trolling my guy. Like, oh, they knew he, as they exposed themselves, they knew he was coming on the plane prior. So that's why they had their phones ready. They wasn't really ready to pop. But then, you know, they put out the first little video. It looks like they ran Ja off the plane. Then TMZ the next day dropped the video, and you see Ja ready to get it popping, and you see that the airline have Ja removed from the flight. It wasn't them. So it's just a lot of games being played, and I notice it's a troll thing.
And right at the end, he tagged his cognac brand because even while clowning a rival, he's still in business mode. Yayo and Murda jumped straight into the comments with laughing emojis. The whole G-Unit circle started amplifying it. At that point, it wasn't just an argument on a plane, it was public humiliation on a global stage. At the same time, the comment section turned into a straight war zone. One side was clowning Ja non-stop for throwing a pillow like that was his big move. The other side was calling everybody involved childish, saying these are grown men who should know better. Nobody stayed neutral. Everybody picked a side and jumped in loud. But 50 wasn't finished, not even close. The trolling had layers, and he took it up another level. He posted an AI-generated video that mocked Ja Rule, a fully animated, over-the-top version of the plane situation that painted Ja as scared and goofy. It wasn't subtle. It was designed to hit hard and spread fast. Let's be clear, this wasn't something Ja sent around. This was something 50 created and blasted out to the entire internet about him. The whole point was maximum embarrassment and maximum virality. And it worked. Millions of views stacked up quick. Reposts flooded every platform. Skull emojis, crying laughing emojis. The comment sections looked like a digital roast session that wouldn't end. Some people said it was top-tier trolling, creative and strategic. Others felt it was corny and beneath someone with 50's level of success and business moves. But love it or hate it, the AI clip kept the story alive for another full news cycle. It refused to die down. Through all the footage, reposts, memes, and headlines, Ja Rule didn't stay quiet. On February 10th, he jumped on X and dropped his own version of what happened. And his tone, not embarrassed, not shaken, confident, even defiant. His post read, "I popped on these punks by myself on a plane. LMA pussy ass. I threw the pillow at Yayo head 'cause you saw knocked your hat all off. Was hilarious."
But I'm also raising young men.
Yes.
And so you have to let them know that there's no room for disrespect.
Yep.
But also there's a way that you carry yourself. So two things can be true. But I just want them to understand that disrespect is not tolerated, but there is a way that you carry yourself.
He flipped the script completely, acting like he walked into that situation solo and handled it on his own terms. He went even harder after that. Ja called the entire G-Unit team pussy and made it crystal clear he had zero regrets about anything that went down. No apology, no soft tone, just straight defiance blasting across social media. Then he posted a screenshot of a TMZ message asking for his official comment on the situation. The message spelled everything out, saying witnesses claimed Ja was identified as the aggressor, that he yelled profanities, talked about wanting to fight, and threw the pillow. It also mentioned the crew stepped in and removed both sides from the aircraft. For a moment, Yayo had reportedly yelled back that planes are federal territory and that he hadn't done anything wrong. But here's the wild part. Ja posted that TMZ message like it was a trophy. His energy was basically, yeah, I did that. So what? That bold attitude flipped the narrative on its head and made the whole story even more gripping to watch. From the outside looking in, it feels like two completely different realities came out of the exact same moment. On one side, Tony, Yayo, and Uncle Murda treated it like content gold. They filmed it, posted it, let it go viral. Then sat down with Vlad TV and broke down every detail from the airport heads up to the second JA's seat was empty. To them, this was a clear W proof that G-Unit still moves with presence anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. On the other side, Ja saw something totally different. In his version, he stepped into enemy territory alone. No crew, no backup. 2-on-1 energy, and he still spoke up, still threw the pillow, still said exactly what was on his mind. In his world, being rebooked off that flight doesn't equal defeat. To him, it shows he was the one bringing pressure and standing tall, no matter who was sitting behind him. The two sides were sitting just rows apart, cameras out, but mentally in two totally different places. One side saw content, something to record, post, laugh about, and turn into a viral moment. The other side saw it as a stand, a statement, a moment of pride. And somehow, both walked away claiming complete victory. That's what a 27-year beef looks like when it explodes in the most random setting possible. A first-class cabin, mid-travel, regular passengers watching history play out in real time. Nobody agrees on what really happened. Everybody swears they won, and the internet just keeps replaying it like it's a highlight reel.
There's no safe space for disrespect. We ain't tolerating no disrespect. But also, there's a time and a place and a way you carry yourself as a grown man. We live by code, the gentleman's code.
We appreciate you. Thank you for your time, John.
When you go back and listen to what Yayo said on Club Shehe about past confrontations, studio run-ins, and moments that almost turned serious behind closed doors with no cameras and no crew members stepping in, it paints a heavier picture. These aren't strangers arguing. This history runs long and personal. And that's when it really hits. The only reason this stayed a pillow situation is because of where it happened. Public space, security nearby, rules in place. That's not just internet chatter. That's someone explaining how different the outcome could have been if the setting wasn't a commercial flight full of witnesses. The implication is simple but heavy. Back in the early days, G-Unit had access to things the other side didn't show up with, and the only reason situations didn't spiral into something far worse came down to timing and logistics. Fast forward to 2026, and the environment was completely different. On a commercial aircraft with federal rules, seatbelt signs glowing, and a flight attendant who wasn't tolerating nonsense, the most dangerous object within reach was a soft airline pillow. The setting controlled the moment. The location did what pride and history might not have done on their own. That's the real twist in all this. Because this beef, 27 years deep, that's not normal industry drama. That's history that refuses to fade. And to understand why Ja Rule can't sit in the same first-class cabin as a G-Unit affiliate without sparks flying, you have to rewind all the way back to late 1990s Southeast Queens. That's where the tension started. South Jamaica, Hollis, the stretch between Merrick Boulevard and Guy Brewer Boulevard. Neighborhoods where survival came first and rap was just one possible way out. Both Ja and 50 grew up in those same corridors, breathing the same air, seeing the same realities unfold outside their windows. They came up during an era when powerful street figures shaped the culture of those blocks. Names like Supreme McGriff, Fat Cat Nichols, and Pappy Mason carried weight in that borough, and their reputations echoed through the community and into the music scene. That environment influenced the stories both artists later put into their lyrics, because it wasn't fiction to them. It was lived experience. That's why this conflict never feels random. It's rooted in shared history, pride, and territory. And even after prison sentences, career shifts, aging, and distance, that old spark still hasn't gone out. For a brief moment in the late 90s, their paths actually crossed without drama. Same borough, same circles, same grind. No explosions yet. But that calm window didn't last long. The flashpoint most people point to goes back to 1999. An associate of 50 Cent allegedly robbed Ja Rule for his chain at gunpoint while both artists were still building their names on the local scene. Later on, Ja reportedly saw 50 near the person responsible, and that's when suspicion crept in. From Ja's point of view, it didn't look random. It looked connected. 50 has always maintained it wasn't him. He said he had nothing to do with it. But once doubt gets planted, it grows fast. Ja took that grievance back to the Murder Inc. camp. Meanwhile, 50 started feeling distance from people he thought he was cool with. The vibe shifted, trust cracked, and once that happened, there was no easy reset. Ja has shared a different origin story too. In his version, tensions sparked during the Murder for Life video shoot on Jamaica Avenue. He suggested that 50 felt slighted by how things went down and didn't like the reception Ja was getting in the neighborhood. Add to that the fact that Irv Gotti had previously passed on 50's demo tape, and now you've got pride, rejection, and street politics mixing together. That's a volatile combo. Whatever the exact spark was, the outcome is clear. By the end of 1999, 50 Cent and Ja Rule were no longer just competitors. They were open rivals, and it didn't stay lyrical for long. There was a nightclub incident in Atlanta where both were booked to perform. Tensions flared. Chains were reportedly snatched. Punches were thrown. It wasn't just words anymore. It was hands and chaos.
All right, this isn't real. I just want to start off by saying that because y'all be rap, cap. But if it was real, would you watch it? If it was real, would you pay to watch it? If it was real, who would win? How many rounds should it go? Who should be their trainers? Do you think Floyd would train 50 or do you think he would train Ja?
Then on March 24th, 2000, things escalated again. 50 was at the Hit Factory studio in Midtown Manhattan, recording for his album Power of the Dollar. Members associated with Murder Inc., including Black Child, Irv Gotti, and Chris Gotti, showed up at the studio. Another confrontation broke out. More physical tension. More fuel added to a fire that was already burning hot. And from there, the rivalry wasn't just personal. It became public, layered, and impossible to ignore. During that studio chaos, Black Child stabbed 50 in the chest and hands. It was fast, it was messy, and it could have ended much worse. 50 ran out of the building bleeding, made it into a nearby studio, and was rushed to the hospital. He needed stitches, but the injuries weren't life-threatening. Later on, he downplayed it, brushing the wounds off as scratches. That response alone showed the mindset he was moving with at the time. Tony Yayo was around during that era, and he later spoke about it on Club Shay Shay. The way he described it, the situation could have turned catastrophic if certain factors were different. That detail matters. It mattered back then, and it still matters now. According to the G-Unit side, there were deeper layers in play, and the only reason it stayed a stabbing and not something worse came down to circumstance and who had access to what in that moment. Then, just 2 months later, in May 2000, everything escalated again. 50 Cent was shot 9 times outside his grandmother's house in Queens. Hand, arm, hip, both legs, chest, face. It sounded unreal. But he survived. After months of recovery, he came back stronger, and that survival became part of his legend. No marketing team could have scripted a comeback story like that. Federal investigators later linked the shooting to Kenneth Supreme McGriff and individuals connected to Murder, Inc., although no convictions were secured in relation to 50's shooting.
Keeping it real, I know y'all looking at my face like, what happened to him? You know, I'm on the streets, nigga, we riding it out sometimes, nigga. Gotta lump niggas up, you know what I mean? It's murder, for life.
That's not my character. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. He decided to punch me in his eye, man, because the nigga said that.
Still, the damage was done in the public eye. That moment didn't just shift 50's career. It reshaped his image forever. And it locked the rivalry between him, Ja Rule, and the Murder, Inc. camp into hip-hop history in a way that could never fully be erased. Right as the musical clash was reaching its peak, federal authorities raided Murder, Inc.'s offices in 2003 as part of a money laundering investigation connected to Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Irv and Chris Gotti were indicted. They were acquitted in 2005, but the damage to the label's structure and public image was heavy. Ja's career felt the impact. Album sales slowed. The spotlight shifted. And by 2011, he was serving concurrent sentences for weapons possession and tax evasion tied to more than $3 million in unreported income. The rivalry that started in Queens had now stretched across decades, courtrooms, charts, and headlines. By the time Ja came home in 2013, the industry had shifted. Sounds were different. New stars had taken over. The momentum he once had wasn't waiting for him anymore. While he was trying to re-establish his footing, 50 Cent had moved in the complete opposite direction. 50 didn't just stay a rapper. He built an empire. G-Unit Records laid the foundation, but that was only the beginning. The vitamin water deal reportedly earned him hundreds of millions. Then came the Power Television franchise, which turned into one of the biggest brands on cable. Ad publishing deals, film production, liquor brands, headphone ventures, and more. He expanded in every direction possible. At a certain point, 50 wasn't just an artist. He was a full-blown mogul, one of the most diversified businessmen in entertainment. Boardrooms instead of backrooms. Executive meetings instead of studio beefs. The glow-up was serious. But here's the twist. No matter how big his business portfolio got, he never stopped circling back to Ja Rule. In 2018, 50 bought 200 front-row tickets to a Ja Rule concert just to leave the seats empty. The move went viral instantly. Some called it marketing genius. Others called it petty beyond belief. Either way, it kept the rivalry alive in front of millions. He's repeatedly joked about Ja's connection to the Fire Festival disaster. He's posted about Ja's ticket sales, his legal troubles, his relevance, even his age. Every few months, like clockwork, 50 finds a fresh angle to poke at him. And every single time, Ja fires back. It's like neither one can fully let it go. That's the real backdrop to what happened on that Delta flight. When Ja Rule looked up and saw Tony Yayo sitting in seat 4D, he wasn't just seeing another rapper from Queens. He was seeing a longtime affiliate of the man who challenged his credibility, dominated him in the charts, and kept his name trending for 2 decades straight. He was seeing someone connected to the guy who bought out his concert seats as a joke. The guy who turned Instagram into a running roast session for 30+ million followers. The guy who made trolling feel like a sport. So that moment on the plane, it wasn't random. It wasn't small. It was layered with history, pride, ego, and unfinished business stretching all the way back to South Jamaica. That's why the energy shifted so fast. That's why a simple seat assignment turned into tension you could feel through a phone screen. Because after everything that happened over 20-plus years, that wasn't just first class. That was history sitting face to face at 30,000 feet. That's why something as small as a pillow toss in 2026 still carries the weight of 1999, 2000, 2003, and every year that followed. The location might change, the intensity might cool down, the weapons might downgrade from knives to airline pillows, the battlefield might shift from diss tracks to AI-generated clips. But the emotion, that stays the same. Time doesn't automatically erase resentment. Age doesn't magically rewrite memory. Success doesn't cancel out old scars. And Yayo made it clear he hasn't forgotten any of it. And when Shannon Sharp pressed him on Club Shay Shay about why he still throws shots at Ja after all this time, Yayo didn't hesitate. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't try to sound diplomatic. Just a man being clear that for him, this animosity has no expiration date. Years ago, 50 said, "It ain't over till one of us gone." And looking at everything that's happened, the plane moment, the pillow toss, the viral footage, the AI clips, the posts on X, the TV breakdowns, and nearly 3 decades of back and forth, that statement still echoes loud. These aren't young rookies anymore. But put them in the same cabin, breathing that same recycled air at 30,000 feet, and suddenly it feels like 2003 again. The setting changes. Recording studios turn into airplanes. Fists turn into pillows. Diss tracks turn into Instagram reels. Street confrontations turn into AI-generated parody clips. And maybe that's why a random seat assignment on a Delta flight can still spark headlines decades later. Because when that kind of history walks onto the same plane, it's never just travel, it's unfinished business at 30,000 feet. If you made it this far, you already know this story runs deep. Hit that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, share this video with someone who remembers the early 2000s, and drop a comment below. Who do you think really won that plane moment? Let's talk about it.